In less than 2 weeks, the world was turned upside down. This after the brutal surprise attack by Hamas on Saturday, October 7th, resulting in war in Israel. Hi, I'm Summer Maxwell.
And I'm James Milan. Needless to say, it's a conflict that has caused anguish worldwide, and Arlington is no different. As of this broadcast, at least 1,500 people have died. 3,400 others have been injured in Israel after Hamas launched an unprecedented attack by air, land, and sea. In Gaza, more than 3,000 people have been killed in retaliatory strikes from Israel, with another 9,700 injured. And of course, those numbers are expected to climb. Rabbi Avi Bukiet is the director and co-founder of the Center for Jewish Life here in Arlington. He told us earlier this week his anger is directed at Hamas and Iran, not the Palestinian people.
First of all, your thoughts obviously on the tragedy that unfolded October the 7th. And how does that change things for you as far as trying to guide people who are seeking peaceful fulfillment and spiritual guidance?
What happened on Saturday, October 7th, sent shockwaves through the community. Many people in our community, right here in Arlington and the Belmont area, have family and very good friends who were part of the tragedy. Some people who have been taken hostage by Hamas are people that we know personally of. So this tragedy hit home. It's not something that's in the past. We're dealing with it currently at this very moment. We actually just found out there was somebody in our community whose best friend was missing for over a week, and they just found his body, and they are going to release it for allowing him to be buried. But this is an ongoing situation, and although we're thousands of miles away from the state of Israel, this is something that has, our entire community feels that they lost brothers and sisters, and our entire community feels in utter shock and grief, and just it's hard to sleep, Jeff. Not many people in our community have slept over the past 10 days.
Nationwide, we've been seeing a lot of protests, pro-Israel and not so pro-Israel protests.
Yeah.
What goes through your head when you see things like this, and how do you cope with it? How do you respond to it?
I have made it very clear. I've made it clear to our local leaders and to the people in our community, Jewish and non-Jewish alike, that this is almost like a litmus test. This is the moment where you only have one real chance to say clearly that you stand for Israel, and you back the Israeli people, the Jewish people who were literally lynched, murdered, mutilated, raped, and was all caught on camera in high definition. I mean, there's no two sides to the street over here, and we've made that very clear. We've been to the Boston rally last week on Monday. Our community attended the counter rally, the counter protest against the Palestinian protesters, which again, there's no, when it comes to Palestinian people, innocent people, of course, everyone in our community stands with them, that they deserve every human right and value like everyone else. But that's not what the discussion is today. The discussion today is about these animals who consider themselves Muslim, but even my own Muslim friends and neighbors have disavowed these people. These people are not Muslim. They're not following Islamic Sharia law of what they just did. And so this is something that there's only one aisle. There's only one side of the aisle here, and that is that you must stand up and say that these people need to be eradicated. The way the entire Western world stood up in the last 4 or 5 years saying that ISIS needed to be eradicated, and that's what was done. Hamas needs to be eradicated. Anybody who supports Hamas as well, either they disavow their support or they're considered terrorists as well if they're supporting these animals, these people. And there's no, like I said, Jeff, I had a conversation with the congresswoman. I had a conversation with the state representatives here. You have to say it's a black and white issue. You're either for humanity or against humanity. That's how I see it.
Well, we are less than a year away from the election season, which obviously causes great concern when it comes to issues like this. And it's hard to detach yourself in an event like this from the political football that this will inevitably become, how does that make your job tougher? It's got to be, your job is tough enough, but
Yeah.
what's the extra pressure now?
Well, the extra pressure is that as a Jewish community, the politics, our local politics and our national politics, are inextricably tied to the politics of our Jewish brothers and sisters in Israel. And for example, we all know, it's not a secret anymore, that the real head of the monster over here is Iran, and Iran has clearly, in so many ways, supported the activities of Hamas and supported the activities of Hezbollah on the north, and they are the ones that they're they are the originators of all of this pain and the source of all this sorrow. And we're looking very closely as a Jewish community to the president, and we're looking very closely to the candidates who are coming up in the coming year. And we're looking at them and saying, where do you stand? I mean, $6 billion was just released back into Iran's coffers, and we see a connection points over here that this is supporting terrorism, and this is making the land of Israel a place where their democracy and their freedom is in danger. So as American Jews, this is something that we look very closely at, and we should be looking very closely at.
Yeah, they say the $6 billion is for humanitarian aid, but all money is fungible when it's in the hands of foreign powers who are brokering such a deal. Bringing it back closer to home now, what is the Shabbat Center for Jewish Life doing now in wake of all this tragedy?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So from the very beginning, we've been setting up. We've been in close contact with El Al here in Boston, the El Al offices, and they're still flying directly to Israel 3 times a week. And they have, although they're a private business, but they have made amazing opportunities for us that we have been able, as a Jewish community and in the wider Boston Jewish community, to bring packages and supplies for families of the victims in Israel, and for the thousands of displaced families who are right now living in tents, for the many toddlers and babies who do not have mothers anymore, who need baby formula. We've set up on last week, Wednesday, we had 15 hours straight of hundreds and hundreds of boxes of supplies being delivered here by people from hundreds and hundreds of people in the community. It was an amazing show of support and a rallying cry. As well, we have set up different funds to go to the Friends of the IDF, to go to Magen David Adom, which is the Israeli Red Cross, to go to United Hatzalah. These are emergency personnel in Israel who are on the ground, who are helping people, who are locating bodies, who are doing very tough work, and hundreds of thousands of dollars have been donated just from this local community alone. And as well, on this past Saturday night, we had a memorial. We had a Yizkor memorial service together with a Havdalah, leaving the Sabbath into the week. We had a wonderful service where we all lit a candle for the over 1,300 Israeli victims, and we recited a memorial, a typical memorial service that's usually done on the holiest day of the year, Yom Kippur. We did it on Saturday evening, and it was emotional. It was charged. People were angry. People were sad, but people also had firm resolve, and that was the message of that evening. That if Hamas or anybody else thinks that this will weaken the resolve or send the Jewish community into hiding, it will have the opposite effect. This is our land, and as a Jewish people, we are connected to this land for thousands and thousands of years, since the time of Abraham, and we will continue to fight for this land.
What can people in Arlington do to help out?
My message has been clear. Besides for sending charity to these different organizations, which you could go on our website and check out the different charities. Besides for sending supplies, which although at this point El Al is asking us to stop sending because they don't have enough cargo space, which is a good problem,
Yeah,
and we're hoping they could open up more. I say the most important thing is for us to stand up, and I've been telling my non-Jewish neighbors, now's not the time to be quiet. Stand up and say, you stand with Israel. You stand with the Jewish people in Israel who are going through an unspeakable tragedy at this time, a tragedy that most of us have never seen in our lifetime befall the Jewish people. This is important for every single person to stand up. And when you see something on social media, if you see something from our universities, sadly, the universities have hedged and have not been able in their warped way of intellectual brightness, they have not been able just to say it as it is, which is, this is wrong. This is wrong. They can't say it. But if they hear from the local people, the local community, many of us over here are professors and doctors that work in the hospitals and work in the universities here, say it out loud and say loud and clear, was wrong, and we stand for Israel, and Israel must go ahead and make sure that Hamas does not exist anymore. That is the ultimate thing that we could do from thousands of miles away, because every single time we stand up and say what we believe, that helps. Those little supports make one large support and one large rallying cry.
And those institutions, those educational institutions, are right down the street.
Yep.
What is the website? What is your website so people can reach out?
The website is JewishArlingtonBelmont.com or JewishAB.com.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Rabbi Avi Bukiet, always good to talk to you, sir. Sorry to, again, be talking to you under these circumstances. If there's any other story you would like to get out there, please contact us so we can get the word out, okay?
Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate this.
You got it. Peace, and please be safe, sir.
Thank you.
Again, if you wish to help out the Chabad Center for Jewish Life in Arlington, just go to their website, JewishArlingtonBelmont.com. Again, that's JewishArlingtonBelmont.com.